Once upon a time in the University of Nsukka, located in the heart of Enugu State, was a place where dreams were made. It was a hub of learning, where young minds came to shape their futures. Among the many students who walked its halls were two inseparable friends, Joseph and Chiamaka. Joseph and Chiamaka were in the same class, studying different courses but sharing a special bond. They met on their first day at university and quickly became the best of friends. Everyone in school knew them, and they were often seen together, laughing and chatting. Joseph was a bright and ambitious student, determined to become a mechanical engineer. He spent most of his free time studying and working on projects. Chiamaka, on the other hand, was a caring and compassionate person, with a dream of becoming a nurse. She spent her free time volunteering at the university clinic and helping those in need. Despite their different interests, Joseph and Chiamaka's friendship grew stronger with each passing day. They supported each other, encouraged each other, and shared their deepest secrets. It was no surprise that they eventually fell in love. Their love was pure and true, and everyone around them could see it. They were meant to be together, and it seemed like nothing could ever come between them. On one of the days, Chiamaka's department, nursing, was buzzing with excitement. They had a big event coming up, a presentation on medication and treatment. The students had been preparing for weeks, researching and practicing their talks. Their head of department, Mr. Collins Gabriel, was a kind and friendly man. He always put his students first and wanted them to succeed. He announced that the presentation would be open to friends and family, and encouraged the students to invite whoever they wanted. Chiamaka saw this as the perfect opportunity to invite Joseph. She ran to the mechanical engineering department, eager to share the news with him. When she got there, she Joseph and shared the news with him. Joseph, guess what? My department is having a presentation next week, and our H.O.D. gave us the opportunity to invite our friends. I'd love you to be around that day if you don't mind. Joseph smiled, happy to support his girlfriend. Of course, I'll be there. What's the presentation about? It's about medication and treatment, Chiamaka explained. We'll be talking about different drugs and how they're used to treat patients. It's going to be really interesting. Joseph nodded, impressed. That sounds great. I'll make sure to be there. What time and where is it? It's at 10 a.m. in the main lecture hall, Chiamaka replied. I'll meet you outside the hall before it starts. Joseph promised to be there, and Chiamaka left feeling happy and excited. She couldn't wait to share this experience with Joseph. The days leading up to the presentation flew by quickly. Chiamaka and her classmates worked tirelessly to perfect their talks, while Joseph studied hard for his own exams. Finally, the day of the presentation finally arrived, and the hall was buzzing with excitement. The nursing students were all dressed in their crisp uniforms, looking professional and confident. Chiamaka and Joseph sat together, eagerly waiting for the presentations to begin. At exactly 10 a.m., Mr. Collins Gabriel, the head of department, welcomed everyone to the presentation. He introduced the first student, who nervously made her way to the stage. One by one, the nursing students presented their topics on drugs and treatment. They explained how different medications worked, and how they were used to treat various illnesses. Joseph listened attentively, impressed by the students' knowledge. Finally, it was Chiamaka's turn. The class erupted in applause as she confidently walked onto the stage. Her friends cheered and whistled, proud of her. Joseph beamed with pride, happy to see his girlfriend shine. Chiamaka adjusted the microphone and began her presentation. She spoke clearly and confidently, explaining how drugs could be used to treat patients. She used examples and diagrams to illustrate her points, making it easy for everyone to understand. The class listened attentively, taking notes and asking questions. When Chiamaka finished, they applauded again, cheering and whistling. Joseph stood up, clapping loudly, proud of Chiamaka's excellent presentation. Mr. Collins Gabriel smiled, impressed by Chiamaka's performance. Well done, Chiamaka, he exclaimed. You did a great job explaining the importance of medication in patient care. Chiamaka smiled, feeling happy and relieved. She had worked hard on her presentation, and it paid off. She walked off the stage, beaming with pride, and Joseph met her with a big hug. You were amazing, he whispered. I'm so proud of you. Chiamaka blushed, feeling happy and loved. She knew she had done her best, and that's all that mattered. The presentations continued, with each student doing their best. But Chiamaka's presentation stood out, impressing everyone with her confidence and knowledge. As the presentations came to an end, Mr. Collins Gabriel thanked everyone for coming. He praised the nursing students for their hard work and dedication. After the presentations, Chiamaka and Joseph decided to go out for lunch. They walked hand in hand to one of the school restaurants, chatting about the event. "I'm so proud of you, Chiamaka," Joseph exclaimed. "Your presentation was amazing." Chiamaka blushed, feeling happy and loved. "Thanks, Joseph. I was nervous, but I'm glad it went well." They arrived at the restaurant and were greeted by the friendly staff. They ordered their food and sat down at a cozy table by the window. As they waited for their food to arrive, they talked about their plans for the future. Chiamaka shared her dreams of becoming a nurse, while Joseph talked about his ambitions as a mechanical engineer. Their food arrived, and they dug in, savoring the delicious flavors. Chiamaka had ordered her favorite dish, jollof rice with chicken, while Joseph had opted for a juicy burger. As they ate, they laughed and joked, enjoying each other's company. They talked about their friends, family, and everything in between. 5 years passed, and Chiamaka and Joseph's friendship continued to blossom. They were now in their final year of university, and their studies were coming to an end. Joseph was first to write his final exam, which was scheduled for Monday. Chiamaka's exam was the following week. Joseph was nervous but confident, knowing he had studied hard. On Monday, Joseph wrote his exam and felt proud of himself. He was sure he had done well. When the results were released, Joseph was overjoyed. He had passed with flying colors. Chiamaka was thrilled for him. "Congratulations, Joseph. I knew you could do it," she exclaimed. Joseph beamed with pride. "Thanks, Chiamaka. I'm so happy. Now it's your turn. I'll be waiting for your results." The following week, Chiamaka wrote her exam. She was nervous but prepared. When her results were released, she was ecstatic. She had also passed with excellent grades. Joseph was over the moon. "Chiamaka, you did it. I'm so proud of you." They both celebrated their success, knowing they had worked hard to achieve their goals. With their exams behind them, they packed their bags and said goodbye to their university life. They headed back to their parents' homes, eager to rest and relax. As they parted ways, they promised to stay in touch. "Let's chat later on the phone," Joseph said, smiling. Chiamaka nodded. "Definitely. I'll call you." Chiamaka arrived home, exhausted but happy. Her younger brother, David, was the first to welcome her. "Chiamaka, you're back," he exclaimed, running to hug her. Chiamaka smiled, hugging him tightly. "Yes, I'm back, David. And I'm finally done with university." Their parents came out to welcome Chiamaka too. They were beaming with pride. "Our daughter has graduated," her mother exclaimed. Chiamaka's father nodded, smiling. "We're so proud of you, Chiamaka. You've worked hard and achieved your goal." The family hugged, happy to be together again. They decided to celebrate Chiamaka's achievement with a small party at home. Chiamaka's mother brought out delicious food and drinks, and they all sat down to eat and chat. Chiamaka told them about her university life, her friends, and her experiences. Her parents listened attentively, asking questions and laughing. Joseph also arrived home, feeling happy and relieved. His parents welcomed him with big smiles on their faces. "Joseph, our son has graduated," his father exclaimed, beaming with pride. His mother nodded, tears of joy in her eyes. "We're so proud of you, Joseph. You've worked hard and achieved your goal." Joseph smiled, feeling grateful for his parents' love and support. They hugged him tightly, congratulating him on his achievement. The family celebrated Joseph's graduation with a small party at home. They ate, drank, and chatted, enjoying each other's company. Later, Joseph's mother asked him about the next step. "Joseph, what's next? When will the NYSC posting come out?" Joseph thought for a moment. "I'm not sure, Mom. But I've heard it will be soon. Maybe in a few weeks." His mother nodded. "Okay, we'll be waiting. You know, NYSC is a great opportunity to serve the country and gain experience." Joseph nodded, knowing his mother was right. He was looking forward to the NYSC adventure, wherever he would be posted. As they continued to chat, Joseph's father asked him about his plans after NYSC. "Joseph, what do you want to do after NYSC? Do you want to get a job or pursue further studies?" Joseph thought for a moment. I'm not sure, Dad. But I'll figure it out. I have time to think about it during NYSC. His parents nodded, trusting Joseph to make the right decisions. They knew he was responsible and would make them proud. The evening went on, with laughter and conversation filling the air. Joseph felt happy and content, surrounded by his loving family. Later that night, Joseph was in his room, feeling relaxed and happy. He thought about Chiamaka and wondered how she was doing. He picked up his phone and dialed her number. Chiamaka answered on the first ring. Hey, Joseph. How are you? Joseph smiled, hearing her voice. I'm good, Chiamaka. Just wanted to check on you. How was your day? Chiamaka laughed. It was great. My family celebrated my graduation with a party. How about you? Joseph chuckled. Same here. My family was really happy too. We had a small party at home. They both laughed, sharing their experiences. Joseph asked Chiamaka about her family and how they were doing. Chiamaka told him about her brother, David, and how he was teasing her about her graduation. Joseph listened attentively, enjoying their conversation. He felt happy to be talking to Chiamaka, his friend and confidant. As they talked, Joseph and Chiamaka had a short discussion about their NYSC posting. They were both curious about where they would be sent. Chiamaka, where do you hope to be posted for NYSC? Joseph asked. Chiamaka thought for a moment. I hope to be posted to the east. I've heard it's a beautiful place, and I'd love to experience it. Joseph nodded. That's a great choice. But I'm hoping to be posted to the south. I've got some friends there, and I think it would be a great adventure. Chiamaka laughed. You're always looking for adventure, Joseph? But I'm sure wherever we're posted, we'll make the most of it. Joseph grinned. Definitely. We'll make sure to stay in touch and share our experiences with each other. They both agreed that the uncertainty of the posting was exciting. They were ready to embrace whatever came their way. I hope we're not posted to the same state, Chiamaka joked. We might get into trouble together. Joseph chuckled. That's true, but seriously, I'll be happy wherever I'm posted, as long as I get to serve and gain some experience. Chiamaka nodded in agreement. Me too, Joseph. We'll make the most of this opportunity and come out stronger on the other side. As they wrapped up their conversation, Joseph and Chiamaka felt grateful for their friendship and the support they gave each other. They knew that no matter where life took them, their bond would remain strong. During her holidays, Chiamaka loved to follow her mother, Mrs. Chiney, to her supermarket. Mrs. Chiney's supermarket was a big and busy place. She sold all sorts of things that people needed for their homes. Every morning, Chiamaka would wake up early and join her mother at the supermarket. She loved watching her mother work, seeing how she helped customers and made sure they had everything they needed. The supermarket was always bustling with activity. Customers would come and go, buying things like food, household items, and even clothes. Mrs. Chiney was always busy, but she always had a smile on her face. Chiamaka would help her mother with small tasks, like packing bags or arranging items on the shelves. She loved being around the customers and hearing their stories. As the day went on, Chiamaka would take breaks and sit in the office, watching her mother work. She admired her mother's strength and dedication. Mrs. Chiney would often take Chiamaka aside and teach her about the business. She showed her how to manage stock, handle customers, and balance the accounts. Chiamaka was fascinated by the way her mother ran the supermarket. She realized that it wasn't just about selling things, but about helping people and making a difference in their lives. As the holidays went by, Chiamaka grew more confident in her ability to help her mother. She started to take on more responsibilities, like managing the cash register and supervising the staff. Mrs. Chiney was proud of Chiamaka, seeing how she was growing and learning. She knew that one day, Chiamaka would take over the supermarket and run it even better than she did. 3 weeks went by, and Chiamaka was busy helping her mother at the supermarket. One morning, while she was setting up the goods, her phone buzzed with a notification. She didn't think much of it, assuming it was just a message from a friend. But later that afternoon, Chiamaka's curiosity got the better of her. She took a break and decided to check her phone. As she opened the message, her heart skipped a beat. It was from the school management. The message read, Dear Chiamaka, this is from the school management, Nsukka University, Enugu State. This is to inform you that you have been posted to Kaduna State for your NYSC, National Youth Service Corps. We wish you the best, good luck. From the school administrator. Chiamaka's emotions mixed. She was happy that she finally knew where she was posted, but unhappy about the location. She had never been to the north before and wasn't sure what to expect. She showed the message to her mother, who was busy attending to customers. Mrs. Chinese face lit up with a smile. Congratulations, my dear. I'm so proud of you. Kaduna State, huh? Well, you'll make the most of it, I'm sure. Chiamaka nodded, still unsure. When she got home, she told her father the news. He was happy for her too, but Chiamaka could sense a hint of concern in his voice. Don't worry, my dear, he said. You'll be fine. Just be careful and make sure to stay in touch with us. Chiamaka nodded, feeling a mix of emotions. She knew she had no choice but to accept the posting, but she couldn't help feeling a little anxious about the unknown. That evening, Chiamaka couldn't stop thinking about her posting. She wondered what Kaduna State would be like, what kind of people she would meet, and what kind of experiences she would have. She decided to call Joseph, her friend, to share the news with him. As soon as he answered, Chiamaka blurted out the news. Joseph, I got my posting. I'm going to Kaduna State. Joseph's voice was calm and reassuring. Congratulations, Chiamaka. I'm sure you'll do great. I got posted to Abeokuta State, by the way. Chiamaka laughed, feeling a little better. Abeokuta State, huh? That's great. We'll have to stay in touch and share our experiences. Joseph agreed, and they chatted for a while longer. The following week, Chiamaka packed her bags and said goodbye to her family. She was excited to start her NYSC journey in Kaduna State. The journey was long but interesting and safe. She met new people and saw new places. When she arrived in Kaduna, Chiamaka was tired but happy. She took a deep breath, feeling the dry air fill her lungs. She looked around, taking in the new sights and sounds. As she walked along the road to one of the nearby villages, Chiamaka felt a sense of adventure. She had never been this far from home before. But suddenly, her happiness turned to sadness. A group of boys appeared out of nowhere and dragged her bag away from her. They stole her phone, money, and other